You like concert? I'm just not a big concert goer.
Really?
I think it's part of leaving after the concert that's a problem. I look at all these things. I'm like, I don't want to get out of the parking lot. I don't want to go. It's so much work.
Yeah, that does suck. It's like one of the worst parts of the concert.
Yeah, I don't want to go to events.
Yeah. And then a big thing for me is I don't really want to get caught in a mass shooting now.
That's, that'd be a good place to do it. If I was going to go to a mass shooting, go through the metal detectors. Wayne went through the metal detectors at one of the shows we went to in Branson. And he popped, and he was like, the guy's like, you got anything in your pockets? Got this? And he's like, yeah, I got this might be my keys or something in here. He's like, oh, okay. And he's like, all right, you're good. Walk through. He has a gun strapped to his ankle.
Yeah. He does have his gun strapped to his ankle.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Well, it's legal to carry it. So, But, it was a private place, private security, so nothing illegal. I think you'd kick them out if they found out.
One time when I was at a strip club, I had to...
touching that mic all the time.
So yeah, just put them down.
On your lap. What are you looking at on your phone there? We're in the middle of a podcast, Jason.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Welcome, everyone. Episode 26.
Yeah.
The Nut Club podcast.
Hell yeah.
We got two special guests today. We got Jason Ragsdale, my brother.
Hello.
We got Tyler Venable, supplement giant, purchaser. I don't know, you've been with us, it's like 12 years now? Something like that? 13 years.
Connoisseur of the beards.
Wow.
Yeah, beard connoisseur for sure. Yep. Welcome, guys. How's it feel? How's it feel being on the Nut Club podcast?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Jared. This is my first podcast.
Wow.
Really?
So
I've
Taking
done a
it all
lot of
in.
podcasts, but
You have?
yeah, I just never posted them.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, this is going to be an experience.
So podcasts.
Well,
Popping that cherry.
Jerry. Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting one today. So,
All right, so we'll start off with the hard questions right now. What are your political views? Do you believe in God? And who are you voting for this election?
those are good ones. Let's go.
No,
Did you work out today?
I'm good.
Sorry, we talk about supplements.
Yeah. What's your favorite Nutri-30 supplement? You got 3 seconds. 3.
Ice authority.
Man brain. Ice authority. Choice. Use a lot. Mix it with my yogurt. It's digest authority for me, I think. Good.
Bad tummy.
Makes my stomach feel good. Yeah, we were in Branson last week, you know this, but we went to Paula Dean's, and I didn't even leave the restaurant before I had to make a trip to the toilet for some explosions.
So number 2.
It was number 2 for sure.
So
I don't know. We'd call it number 3.
How do you function in situations like that where you got that one ply toilet paper?
You just gotta keep pulling and wrapping. It's it's the only time. I'm not we can go over the debate between crumple and fold too.
Okay, that's fair.
For the toilet paper, because if I'm in a 1-ply situation, there's no crumple ever. It's a fold. It's a strand.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But then
you can turn 1-ply toilet paper into 50-ply toilet paper.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
But
Yeah, you just gotta fold.
But that tears sometimes, and then you
Yeah.
touch yourself.
Yeah, it's a little exciting.
Yeah, you're a little embarrassing.
Bit of a surprise.
you either pull away or you push back in.
Yeah, one of the two. So I've never done that, guys.
Just Broc.
Just Broc has.
No, I think I got that from a movie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, tell us how long you guys have been in the supplement industry.
Jason, how long have you been in the supplement industry? Tell me a little of your story. I'd love to hear.
Back in 1990,
Yeah.
and I was in the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Moved to Wichita to open up a fitness equipment store.
Yeah.
My parents.
Yeah.
And started selling supplements then.
Yeah. Did we sell a lot of supplements in the beginning?
And some protein bars, some power bars, and
We had some power bars.
Perillo.
EAS wasn't out then yet.
Like the tires? I know that's Pirelli.
Really?
Metrics probably was.
Metrics. Yeah. The early days.
What was it called?
That was way later.
Power Way Stack.
Power waste.
Power Way Stack. Probably mid 90s.
See, Nicole saw the Power Way stack, and she said that her stepdad Earl, she's like, he used to buy Power Way stack, so he must have been coming in the store way back in the day.
Our way stack was good.
Power Way stack, it just had a little off taste to it. You know what I mean?
$35 for
7 pounds.
7 pounds of brew way.
That was crazy.
You remember when that was so cheap?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or 2 pounds of gold standard for like $12.
Yep. $12.95.
Yeah.
It's 95.
So is it more expensive now because the quality is better, or just because the inflation?
I think there's several
Demand.
avenues,
Demand has gone way up for whey protein.
Mm-hmm.
and there are definitely more modern ways of making things super clean and just like improving the quality and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
It's definitely a magnitude of things that go into the cost of supplements for sure.
Yeah, it'd be interesting just to check what the inflation numbers would be from like 95 to 2024. You know, kind of thing. My HOA, you know, I always tell people, I'm like, you know, if we went back and checked the dues in 1990 and adjusted those dues for inflation in 2024, we'd be paying a lot more than we're paying right now. So it's just a reason for me to raise the dues. You know, that's it. We got bills to pay. Got bills to pay at the HOA.
Jared's the HOA star now.
Yeah, that's right.
New fitness center coming.
Presidente.
New
Do you have
fitness center.
you have like a crown? I could buy a crown.
Just
with-
give you one
with my money.
to every single.
That would actually be hilarious. I might do that. or get the conch. I'll just be like, if you don't hold the conch, you can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you guys say was it was what? For $12, 2 bags?
$12.99. Just put $12.99 in 1995.
2 pounds of gold standard.
Yep.
95.
And for a reference for those watching,
Okay.
20 pounds is going to be like what you would consider
Is worth-
like your regular jug, not the big,
Not the big ones. Yeah.
Like today, the average 2 pound whey protein goes for about $40.
Right. Yep.
Right. Right. So it would be. It should be. If it. I don't know.
It was 26.
Yeah, it was 26.
$27. So it's over doubled.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, you know, dollars worth half what it was. What's he? 95. Computer. He was checking out the calculations. He's the Jamie. You know,
Yeah.
the old Joe Rogan podcast. Jamie, pull it up.
Can I call you Jamie?
If you want.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie.
I like Jamie.
Kimmy.
I like Jamie more than Brock for some reason.
Ooh.
I don't really like Brock either, so it's okay.
So nowadays, you know, you see it a lot. Nutriauthority on the website. People go on and purchase products. You know, people are going on Amazon, things like that. You know, I don't mind when they buy from me directly on my website, but coming from the retail side of things, obviously there's a huge difference. What do you guys notice in like some of the biggest benefits coming into a retail store versus just buying your stuff on the internet, buying it on Amazon or even my website versus coming in and buying it at Supplement Giant?
You don't have to wait. You got a human being to talk to that, in most cases, depending on where you go, obviously, that has some vested interest in what it is you're trying to accomplish as an individual. So you get a more individualistic, approach to your goals.
Yeah.
If you like human to human relationships, it's an advantage for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Jason?
I would say even if you got some people who know what they want and they could order it, it'd be the same difference.
Mhm.
In that case, you're kind of supporting local economy. You're, getting out of your house, doing something.
Yeah.
But
Helping support the families locally that are sending their kids to school and college and buying groceries and things like that. You're not putting, premium gasoline and Ferraris and things like that.
That is one thing, especially about here. I'm sure it's pay attention to a whole lot of other parts of the country. But a lot of times you'll hear people in Wichita moaning and groaning about how little there is to do here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are talking to you about that are also people that are shopping, online, Amazon.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff getting shipped in from out of area.
True.
And
True.
just one of those things that you don't think about, but it does affect
Yeah.
the local economy for sure. So,
Yeah, that's a big one.
I would say, but for the people who aren't dead set on one specific product, I think it's better to be able to look at the shelf and talk to somebody, and you've got a lot of choices, a lot of options. Like it could be really overwhelming to try to do that on a website.
Yeah.
Like, some people just take the advice of their favorite influencer or just buy favorite brand or top most popular recommended on Amazon, something like that. But,
Those influencers may not have too great of a track record. Back to all the, remember Shreds? Shreds was just handing out all the same plans to everybody and photoshopping. And, the fitness industry, remember old Complete Nutrition? And they had allegedly the guy, whenever he took his before and after photos and put them up in his store, he had a twin brother that was fat and out of shape. And that was the before photo. And after was him, and he was in great shape. And that was before and after with his products.
Yeah.
Fitness industry is pretty rife with bullshit, misinformation and things like that. I think one of the big things with going into a store that I always thought of is kind of like shopping for a car stereo. It's just something I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I go shop for a car stereo. There's tons of options: speakers, stereos, front, back, subwoofers, all the stuff I don't understand.
You just know you want the sound awesome.
I just want it to sound awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So what am I going to, so if I went and, I could go and order at Crutchfield or something like that online, I have no freaking clue what I'm going to order. I could go and I could scour the internet and I could watch TikToks and I could, watch a few YouTube videos, but getting one person's preference on that too. And, I always like going into a retail store, an actual environment, because then you get to quiz the guy. You get to ask them questions. You get to dig into it. You really get to find what works for you and why based off their expertise. And not every stereo salesman's, the expert, but like in places like Supplement Giant, that's a big difference. That you get that expertise of, people don't like this flavor. Just so you know, like remember Vici that we used to sell from Paleo? Great product, but I would warn everybody when they would buy it, like, this tastes like shit.
it was a little rough.
Yeah, old J-Rod. J-Rod made a great product. Shout out J-Rod. And, it made a great product, but it just tasted awful. It was naturally sweetened. It used, beetroot was like main ingredient, things like that. It tastes terrible. So I'd tell everybody when they came in, like, this tastes like shit. But they wanted to know. You told them that in advance, they liked the product. But if you ordered that online and you didn't know that, you would be pissed and you would hate it. And one person might say it tastes good.
Probably startled too.
Yeah, you get some
Like,
natural. Well, you got the natural crowd that thinks that everything should taste like, as delicious as my products when they use stevia or something like that. It just doesn't work that way. You can't really get a naturally sweetened product to taste as good, especially pre-workout ingredients. But even beyond that, you got the differences in like what's your goal and what products do you really need? Really going down like the hierarchy of what's important, protein and creatine, and maybe you're going after fat loss and you don't realize that you should really be increasing your protein intake, and maybe you're not even thinking about diet. You're just looking for a supplement. You go into the stores and the guys are like, man, what have you been eating? What's your diet look like? So you get a whole different experience, and just expertise would be one of those things that I really notice.
And meals that are available.
Oh yeah, Supplement Giant. You guys got the lean kitchen meals ready to go. I eat those pretty frequently.
myself.
Yeah, a little closer. They are good. Yeah. They're pretty good. I've made a few of those myself.
I would also say, in the car stereo world or supplements or whatever, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to talk to somebody who works in that, lives in that industry, just kind of get their thoughts about something.
Well, and that's a good point. Like for you and I, we grew up in the industry. We grew up in the back room and on the beanbags, Super Nintendo. The dog chewed up the cord. We had to, solder it back together and tape it with some electrical wire or something, right? And soldered, just stuck back, just twisted together. And in those situations, we've been around for so long. Like the information that we've seen, how the supplement industry has evolved over time with all the bullshit products and all the lawsuits and all the spiking and, contamination of ingredients and things like that. Just very few people have that history at their fingertips like we've got. And people are always surprised. I'll pull up the FDA's contaminated list all the time, and it's always spiked with stuff. Companies are always sticking shit in their products that aren't on their label, that are illegal, that should not be in there. And realistically, they should hold the CEOs or the shareholders, whoever it is, responsible for whatever's in there. If you spike your product with Adderall in a pre-workout and they find out you've got Adderall in your pre-workout, like some of these products, 10 years ago or something like that, and you should get in big trouble for that. But it doesn't seem like it. Seems like a lot of people are, rewarded for that kind of thing on the internet. But you come into a store like ours or something like that, pretty clearly like what the results are, the feedback, why. And you hear, history of the brands that a few brands out there that I wouldn't personally use. I know their history. I know where they came from. That's important information, right? So there's a good one. You remember that old multi-pro whey?
IDS.
One of them, IDS. I think they changed their formula. All of a sudden, it tasted completely different.
Even the gainer.
Even the gainer, smart gainer,
started tasting terrible.
Yeah, you don't change formulas like that. You gotta. There's a reason. There's something going on there. You got caught doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Theirs was a majority sugar, right?
Yeah, allegedly. I'm not 100% sure if they actually. I know they got in trouble for the new whey shots at one time from that. I don't know if they got in trouble for that. It's kind of like you hear it through the distribution channels kind of thing. Why does this taste so different? Yeah, they got caught putting sugar in their product, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Their labels are bullshit, that kind of thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of products, though, that come out in the first batch.
Yeah.
Lenny and Larry cookies.
Yeah.
The first batch was really, really good.
Yeah.
After that, they weren't.
You remember that Atrofex that they talked about at the Arnold? They went out there and they started handing out all these unlabeled packets to all these. Hey, this is the new Atrofex. New Atrofex. People took it as just a shiny packet with like 2 pills or something in there. People took it and they were just like, dude, I feel like I'm on ecstasy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I'm, rolling X here. And then the bottle came out. Didn't feel anything like that. It was like they got all this hype at the Arnold and something was different than the actual bottles. The bottles came out.
Drugging a bunch of people at the Arnold.
Yeah, man, if you want to make a splash, that's a good way to do it, right? And who would know? Yeah. Nobody's testing those sample packs that are unlabeled.
It's like spiking the punch bowl at a high school.
Well, samples, they made it, I'm sure, clear that there's none of those to make it out of the Arnold, consumed.
Yeah. And even if they didn't, there's no proof it's theirs.
Right.
We didn't make these. It's just sample. So, yeah, there's a lot of bullshit in the industry. What are some of the things? Go ahead. You got something?
Mine was, I think I'm actually getting ready to answer your next question. Creatine spiking and amino spiking are probably been my 2 favorite.
Yeah.
Just completely deceptive practices that just confuse people, man. That's ultimately what that kind of deception does. Is it just confuses people in an already confusing industry.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody has a hard time with, number one, convincing themselves to get started on whatever goal they have, right? Probably because it's very overwhelming and they know it's a lot, but then they take that leap.
Yeah.
Right? And they decide they want to get serious and make the right changes. Now they're in it, right? And then they get into the influencer and they're doing the research online and all that kind of stuff. And boy, can you get filled with some misinformation on that bad boy, right?
Quite a bit out there,
on TikTok and Google and everything else. But like you said, people don't see the behind the scenes of influencers, like, the contracts that are written, things like that. But it's just,
people are always cautious when they understand that somebody's making a profit off of what they recommend. Like if I'm like, hey, Nutri-30 is the best products you should buy. Like people are like, well, you own the company, right? Like, you're going to say that.
Sure.
I'm like, but you also got to realize that's the influencer. That's the celebrity endorsement that used to happen as much,
Mm-hmm.
So you can't trust those people.
Yeah.
Dollars speak more than anything else. Yeah. The shittiest products have some of the biggest influencers out there.
But you can't trust that.
Damn right.
I think there's some influencers that do product reviews that everybody knows they're just really nice.
Yeah.
Send them free stuff and they'll say nice things.
Yeah, I agree.
And so and you need some content for your social media. Hey, this guy reviewed our stuff.
Yeah.
He just likes getting free stuff.
I think the day of the influencer will slow. I don't know if it'll go away, but I think, as we get, it's like the best example is our age group versus the older age group. You see a video on Instagram and it's fake and we can tell it's fake immediately, but an older person looks at it. You see this video? Did you see what happens? They have no idea that it's bullshit. They can't tell. I think the influencer thing will happen in the similar way as we grow up in this influencer trend. People will start to poke holes in a lot of what's going on with influencers.
Sure.
Change the dynamic a little bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think just like anything else, there will be a balance brought to it. Eventually you'll get enough people that are like, for every influencer that's making like a BS claim, you'll get people on there that hop on the same internet.
Yep.
With the following and all these claims, and it'll naturally balance itself back out.
Yeah.
I think just from the perspective of just somebody that's trying to get into this industry, maybe somebody that's not super healthy right now, that's wanting to make changes. And I could see how it'd be very overwhelming to want to start.
Oh, 100%. Sure. It'd be very tough to figure it out. Yeah. I mean, the amount of products, pre-workouts weren't even out when we were getting into it. Explode was like one of our first pre-workouts, man.
Ultimate Orange.
We had the Ultimate Orange. I remember that one. I never took it. People talk about that one like it was crazy back in the day. It was probably ephedrine.
It did. It had ephedrine.
I'm sure the ephedrine, cranked it through the roof or something like that. But, a few others put their meth type ingredients in these products, probably not too dissimilar.
What has been like some of the craziest like products you guys seen come through? Like where you're like, yeah, that's gonna get discontinued pretty soon. And it did. Like what as far as effectivity or
Definitely jacked, and whatever that super draw pre-workout was when I first started back in the day, I do that.
Yeah.
What about like deer antler stuff? That was a big one.
Yeah, the deer antler stuff was bad for a little while. I don't know. We sold some, but I don't know if we had much.
Bucked Up still has deer antler velvet.
I know.
I feel like deer antler was always, people gave it a little more credit than it was probably due.
Yeah. I'm sure there's something to the deer antler, maybe certain extracts, certain amounts, things like that. But I think just like with anything, the CBD craze came and nobody knew what was good versus bad CBD, potency levels, purity levels, things like that. Deer antler was the same. I think that's always kind of your thing. But you also kind of figure out both of those. Overhyped and underperformed for the most part.
Yep. I would say also like just the pro hormones. I mean, you always know.
Yeah.
Back when those were legal and everything. And
SARMs.
I mean, you hear people come in the stores that have been doing this forever, customers that you've seen forever. Too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how long before this gets banned? It's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, the good stuff actually starts to go off the market. It's effective, most effective.
DMAA probably on most recent.
Yeah.
Very effective ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of companies got carried away with it.
Remember when I gave you that pill of DMAA that one time?
Yeah, I thought I was going to die.
It was great. It was before DMAA was really a thing. Maybe it was in Jack at that point in time, but I don't know. Maybe. But it was a pretty big pill. I think it was like 60 milligrams.
Take this pill. Let me know what happens.
Yeah, this is good.
What about like is that like a testosterone?
No, that's a stimulant. Okay. And so they would put them in pre-workouts like Jacked. Tyler was talking about the Jacked product, Jack 3D.
Yeah. What about like the testosterone booster kind of stuff?
Testosterone boosters,
like closest thing.
Yeah, most of them were either spiked with like a pro hormone. Like when he was talking about pro hormones are basically designer steroids. They're not a steroid that's illegal.
Is that a SARM or?
No, SARMs are a little different. So if you go kind of through the spectrum, like you have your anabolic steroids, injectable stuff, that's like your most potent, strongest, probably arguably one of the safest too, because it's been around since Arnold's era. We know what it does. Then you had pro hormones, which were oral steroids, but they weren't illegal. It was a different chemical formulation that allowed it to go, and be sold in stores, but it acted like a steroid. And those were pro hormones. We sold a bunch of them. They got phenomenal results. I mean, you wanted to put 10 pounds of muscle on in a month. Pro hormones did it like crazy. But there's side effects. And, we educated people really well on protecting themselves and, making sure that everything was in balance and, that kind of thing. We wouldn't sell it to anybody under 18. Like we did a lot of things to make sure we were very cautious about it versus others. And then you have SARMs, which is kind of the next step down, which is a selective androgen receptor modulator, which isn't supposed to have the side effects of the pro hormones, but it's supposed to work just on those receptors that build muscle like steroids do. They work to some degree. They still have side effects. They still shut your testosterone levels down, just like a pro hormone does. They still have their problems, and technically they are illegal because of the way the law is written. But a lot of supplement companies like to sell SARMs because they are highly profitable. Buy something for $20, you sell for $120, they want to push it on you very quick. And that is not the margins in supplements by any means. Mm-hmm. Margins in supplements are very, very slim. So you were not running on those, $100 margins on a $20 product like that. That's why they push them so hard, is because of that.
Makes a lot of sense.
We have chosen to keep SARMs out of the stores and, things like that simply for legality reasons and liability reasons and things. They're just not safe. You want to use a SARM, just go buy them. Just find one. Yeah. You can find them for $20, $30.
I think quality control on the gray area is pretty tough.
Well, because they're illegal, right? Yeah. So, who cares what quality they are?
That's just it, yeah.
Or are you getting what you think you're getting?
No, there's that one. You remember that one where that company down in Georgia was making pro hormones for somebody and they didn't use rice flour. Instead, they used pro hormone as their ingredient to cut it, to fill the pill. Yeah. And it destroyed somebody's liver because of it. I don't know if it killed him, but it destroyed his liver for sure. And that was the problem. And so, yeah, you have a lot of quality control issues. Those guys should have gone to prison, but that's just kind of how it is on some of those.
I think a couple of them did go to prison.
Yeah, there was some. I know Blackstone, that one guy went to prison.
Yeah.
It was a PJ. I don't know if it was that. He was selling pro hormones. I don't know if it was because he hurt somebody or not.
You know what I find hilarious is that people like that go to prison, but pretty far people, don't go to prison.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they just didn't have enough money to pay out.
That's really, it's kind of the thing I also say about the pharmaceutical industry. It's interesting because, when you're in business, you're always looking for something else that you can create that solves a problem or fits a need for somebody. These pharmaceutical companies have been out for so long. They ran out of those problems a long time ago. Like they solved all the things they could solve, years ago. Now they're finding new things that you didn't even know were a problem.
Or creating
a problem. We'd love to sell you a drug that creates a problem that we could sell you another drug for.
What was that? I'm pretty sure Viagra, it was actually started out for blood pressure.
Yep.
They figured out that, it could do some other things for you.
Yeah.
creates some great blood pressures elsewhere.
Yeah, it was the best mistake that ever happened. I think it was heart health or blood pressure or something. And then all of a sudden these guys got these raging boners. And man, we're gonna be rich.
All of a sudden, erectile dysfunction. Just a very high focal point.
Yeah, it's true.
Crazy.
Yeah. Now think about how many of those drugs are out there, right? Crazy.
You don't ever really hear any ancient writings about erectile dysfunction.
That's a good question. I don't know. Did they talk about it back then?
I don't know.
Whoa.
Let's chat. Let's chat GPT. First.
What's the first mention of erectile dysfunction in history?
This is so hard to type with all this stuff around me.
It's because you're a chicken pecker and the way you type.
Yeah, well,
not like that. You know how a chicken pecks the ground, right?
Oh,
yeah.
that kind of pecker.
Yeah. Not the other kinds.
What do you guys think it is? What's your guess?
1864.
1864?
Yep.
What about you, Jason?
1937.
I'm going to go with 1953.
Wow. Well, the answer is it is can be traced back to civilizations such as ancient Egypt around 2000 BCE. So it seems like mankind.
Yeah, dude. Ebers Papyrus, a medical document, described a treatment for erectile dysfunction involving various herbal remedies and prayers to the gods. 2000 BC.
Huh.
Crazy.
Can you imagine not being able to get it? That's you got to just go.
Yeah. Especially if you were like a king or something, right? That'd be even worse.
Please.
Like you got your hair.
I'm praying. Okay, I'm trying to get this taken care of.
I'm taking my other soon. They probably tried bloodletting at a certain point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like bloodletting would probably not be the best way to do that.
It's not the best way, but they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
So
still figuring things out.
Yeah.
I mean, they built some pyramids, so they knew a couple things.
Yeah, that's pyramids weren't 2000.
Did they?
Those were so long ago.
Yeah,
the aliens.
Who really built them?
Yeah, it was the giants.
Yeah, I think it was the giants.
Yeah,
it had to be the giants.
Yeah, giants built them for sure.
So, can you guys give me a couple customer horror stories?
Ooh, those are good. Or even like your own horror story. Like I got a good story that's like my worst customer service story. But
horror in what way?
I don't know. Bad customers. You did a bad job.
Yeah, no bad customers.
Yeah, because they ran off.
Oh, but
there's always a problem. You go out to a restaurant, you can see who's the bad person there. Whenever you can see them causing a problem, everybody's got bad customers.
I think mine was probably the time that I wasn't even at work. I just received a screenshot from some camera footage of one of my guys that was helping somebody up front, and just mid conversation with this gentleman, started taking a dump right there.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We got footage of that one.
Yeah,
we got footage of that.
Brett was the kid's name.
Yeah.
Do we still have footage of it?
Just the nicest kid, dude. Brett was one of the nicest
We should use that for social media.
Dude, he literally was just standing there, and all of a sudden you just start seeing just like liquid poop drop out of his pants, and like it gets onto the rug that's right there.
Luckily, there was a rug in there.
Was that an old guy or?
No, I don't think so.
Right, middle aged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have a condition?
He didn't have incontinence or anything.
Probably.
This.
He had just actually, the reason he was in the store is he had just stolen a pair of shoes from the Academy Sports right there and was trying to sell that pair of shoes.
Oh, really? Even better.
So yeah, I think we should post that on social media.
It was just tough, man. I didn't really like.
That'd be a good TikTok.
It would be. I'm telling you.
I told Brett, man, like, I really hate asking you to do this, man. And if you quit, I totally understand. I just led with that, but I need that rug at the dumpster.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Dude, luckily, he didn't have to get a mop out.
Yeah, I would have done
How
it myself.
big?
He just took the rug.
How big was like the rug?
It was just like
wasn't that big.
it's just probably what, like
Like a little placemat?
3 foot by 2 foot rug.
Yeah.
Just stand right in front of the counter.
Yeah,
stand
welcome,
up.
Mac.
Did you guys like call the cops?
Up.
No. What are you going to do?
Was he telling him to leave?
I mean, Brett had to stand there. Yeah, he's telling you one of the nicest guys ever, and I think he just maintained eye contact and finished out the conversation.
Did he like, because I saw the video, but I didn't hear from Brett. Did he just like hear the guy starting to grunt
It was
or
the
something?
smell.
It was the smell. That was it. Okay.
Yep. I mean,
Well, there's other customers in the store too. And so he walked around the front.
See, you said we had no bad customers.
Noticed.
he's probably, I don't know.
Not a
He's
customer.
customer. He didn't buy anything. He was
That's
trying
true.
to offload some products.
That's true. That's fair.
But
Have you guys got any like cool stories of catching people that are stealing?
Yeah, there's a high school kid I caught. We caught a few.
I held him down till the police got there.
I caught him. And it was one of the pro hormones back whenever the pro hormones were something we sold in our stores. And I only kept one on the shelf so that I could track it. And I saw there was a missing spot. So I go to my computer. I'm like, surely I've stocked this. In the last day I look, and I sold one 2 days ago. So I was like, I would have stocked this in 2 days. And so I look at the kid that's looking at the pro hormones, and he's got sweatpants on and like a bulge in his pocket. And I'm like, hey man, it's what do you got in your pocket there? It's a big bulge there. Oh, that's my cell phone. Okay.
Big bulger, buddy.
Yeah. Gray sweatpants too.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay. Then some other customers started going in and coming in, and so I had to start dealing with this because I had a good feeling that he had stolen the product from me. And so, he went up towards the front, kind of an end cap right next to the door. And I went up to him and I was like, hey man, I don't want to accuse you of anything, but like, can you just show me your cell phone in your pocket real quick? He's like, what? I was like, how about you just show me that cell phone you got? Boom. Darted for the door as fast as he could. Hits the door. And right when he hits the door, I just grab him and like behind the neck in a headlock and pull him off the door and yank him, through the store a little bit and hold him there. And then I was calling the cops while I had him on in a headlock. And they're like, is he here there now? And I'm like, yeah, he's in a headlock right now. I got him in a headlock. And so they sent the cops out. And then I, at one point in time, had to deal with my customers and and he was trying to like run through the store, trying to find a way out. He didn't know he had a back door, which would have been the easiest way, but he was like running through the aisles, trying to find his way out. And I was helping a customer. He darts for the door. And this guy that walked in just a minute before that was wearing no shoes and was like some sort of a jujitsu guy. And the guy runs right past him. And I yelled at him. I was like, he stole something, dude. Grabbed him, dropped him to the ground immediately and like held him in some sort of hold and like made the guy calm down. And he's like, you gonna stop? You gonna stop? It's like, yeah. You gonna sit down? Yeah. Okay. And so he sits down and waits for the cops. And then the cops showed up. And then they asked me questions very strategically. They're like, okay, now did he set foot outside of your store? Because you would have to step outside of your store for us to prosecute him for theft. I was like, yeah, he did. He stepped outside the store and I pulled him back in with the headlock. And okay, whenever you asked him if that was, his cell phone, did you say, was that a cell phone in your pocket? Or did you say, is that a bottle in your pocket, that you asked him to pay for? And I was like, I said, is that a bottle in your pocket? And are you going to pay for that? Okay. Now we can arrest him and take him. Got him. He came back in a few years later, actually. And I waited on him and we pretended like we didn't know who each other was. So,
and actually now he's in prison. I'm just kidding.
It's possible. He was just a dumb kid in school. He was probably like 16 or 17. And when he came back in, he was probably 20, 22 or something. Probably grew up. But, so that was a good one. There's been a few of those like that.
Right.
I had one that did that to me over at the West store. But it was like during the Christmas season.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember exactly. I made him give me this stuff, and obviously, and just kind of gave him.
Just take a picture of it.
Yeah, I took a picture of him, made him stand there so I could take a picture of him, so that I could just put it up on the wall, and
Remember that
they
one?
wouldn't let him come back.
Remember that one when Jim worked for us out, and then they start stacking stuff up at the front, and Jim were paying attention to him.
Yeah, these two guys, like, they came in and there was a cop in the store, or maybe a cop came in while they were in there, and they like were just like stacking things on this end cap right by the door, and they their loot left.
It's just their loot.
They left and then came back like 5 minutes later, and this was when we were in our old location next door to Dylan's. So their plan was to run out the door, and their buddy was going to sit in a car at the end of the sidewalk. And I guess somebody like pulled up behind him and like honked to like get out of my way. So he had to move. So these two guys ran, and their car was gone. So they ran around back, and like when we saw him take off running, like we weren't going to catch up to him. So we ran out our back door and ended up just like meeting them like head on right behind the store. And like I was yelling, drop it. Like I didn't know if they had a knife or anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't really want to like get in a fight. Like I would rather just drop the stuff.
Yeah.
Leave. And I guess though, I heard later that like all the shops back there, they're like behind Twin Peaks now.
Yeah.
That like thought there was like some like police thing going on with like telling them drop the gun, drop the gun. They're like locking their doors and calling each other, and like
How funny.
But I was like screaming at this kid, like drop it. There's two of them.
They
Like,
drop it?
He dropped most of it and still had something. And I kind of like stopped to pick it up, and I look, and he started, I could see something over his shoulder as he's running by, and I just like took off running again towards him, and then he chucks him in the bushes and like kept going.
How funny.
So was this dude's plan to just go make some gains, or was he trying to sell it on the internet, or what?
They stole a ton of stuff. I remember like, explodes and alkaline. Between the two of them, like 10 different things.
Yeah.
Maybe for the adrenaline rush.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. I do remember thinking like, man, I've been doing cardio lately, so my endurance is good.
That's good.
I'm gonna be able to catch this kid.
What about the switching gears a little bit? What about the people that come in the store? What are some of the common, I don't know, misconceptions that they have, misunderstandings that they have, things that you guys kind of have to correct? For example, back at the West store, that was the guy I told him he needed to increase his protein intake, and he's like, I eat a lot of peanut butter sandwiches, right? Well, that doesn't actually have much protein. It's a lot of fat. It's really not doing what you want it to do. So you should drink a protein powder, eat more meat, not peanut butter, stuff like that.
The creatine and steroids.
Creatine steroids. I had a friend's parents in high school that said that about protein. He was like, it helps build muscle and helps you recover. And they're like, how's that different than steroids?
Well, it's because anabolic. You call something anabolic just means your body's able to build muscle tissue out of it.
Yep.
And so there's anabolic steroids, and because there's been that correlation made anytime you hear anabolic correlated with steroids.
Yep.
Here we are. So,
Yep.
I would say my second is that everything is going to taste like the picture on the front of the bottle.
The Nutri-30 stuff's pretty close.
It is. It is.
It's the safe bet.
It's the same.
Always buy new.
I mean, I just not make it if it doesn't taste good. It's generally how it goes, right?
Why would you?
Yeah. This day and age, flavoring systems are so advanced, there's no reason. No reason for it not to taste good.
Yep.
So,
I tried an EAA earlier today that was disgusting.
Whoa. Not for me.
No.
Okay.
I'm used to Nutri-Authority. So
Yeah.
I thought they should all taste good.
That's fair.
And I threw it away. I didn't even finish it.
Yeah. People don't understand. What about, is there anything you want to clear up? Things that people misunderstand? You just like to get it on the record? This is what they need to know. I got one if you don't.
I think a lot of people think they just need to take pre-workout and then just hit the gym, and that's plenty.
That's a good one. This pre-workout is just like the least of your importance.
I was going to say, I could elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Pre-workout isn't going to get you anywhere.
Pre-workout.
Maybe to the gym, but no goals wise.
Yeah. Yeah. Pre-workouts. What was it? Ridge on one of those videos. He's like, it's like treating yourself. Like, this is like, pampering yourself as a pre-workout.
It's all in your brain.
Yeah.
Like the caffeine rush and everything. That's all brain energy. That's not cellular energy, muscle energy. Anything like that.
Yeah. So that's pampering. But you got to get the foundational. Like, they need to understand what actually causes muscle to grow or what actually causes fat to burn. And I think that once you understand that, it's really easy to make your decisions on supplements. But if you don't understand that, you're going to get bamboozled left and right.
Your body is not going to waste protein.
Yeah.
If you take 2 scoops.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a good one.
You'll know.
I thought you could only absorb 20
Yeah.
grams.
There is no number.
There is
Spoiler
no number.
alert.
Yeah.
There is no number
Yeah.
that your body can absorb. And I don't care how many articles you've seen on the internet that say otherwise.
Yeah.
My favorite analogy when somebody would tell me, well, I read that you can only absorb 23 grams of protein.
Every 3 hours.
Right. I would encourage you to go tell Kai Green that.
Yeah.
Encourage you to go tell Arnold that. I would
Mhm.
encourage you to go talk to Phil about his 27 grams of protein that his body's going to be able to break down and absorb every 3 hours.
Yeah.
You guys can all have that conversation. But
I think the misconception is it absorbs, it digests,
Right.
it does work.
right.
Now, does it boost muscle protein synthesis higher from
And
taking
that's-
more than less? Not necessarily, but that's not the whole purpose.
No, that's where the misconception is. Your body may only use X amount to build the muscle with that you're going after for it to build. And, cool. But what people don't comprehend is your protein and water. If it's not going to go to your muscle, your body's going to store it somewhere. Your body's going to help with liver repair, bone repair, tendon repair, just structural repair, right? So you're not wasting.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you need all of those things to create homeostasis in your body for you to eventually build a bunch of muscle that you want in the first place.
Yeah.
So
And you're giving it, that's literally the building blocks. Whether or not it's using more of that to build, it's going to use it. And it's going to help recovery. And of course, maybe you take 20 scoops at one time and we have a different conversation.
sure.
here,
I mean,
right?
there's got to be the common sense part.
Yeah.
Of things, right?
Yeah. There's a common sense area here where 2 scoops is great. 5 scoops is not anything more than just wasting your body. So, but same way you can drink too much water.
Oh, you sure can do too much of it.
Too much pole dancing.
Not too much cowbell.
Not never enough cowbell. So we've covered the hard things like hard to deal with customers,
Erectile dysfunction.
erectile
Did
dysfunction,
you like that? Hard thing.
Thieves.
the thieves.
Yeah. I know you were actually yelling, "I'm going to fucking kill you," is what you were yelling.
I
doubt it.
Fucking kill you.
That's what I remember that. I remember that. I think it was just to drop it.
I think
Ah,
you fucking deserve to die.
I think it was, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm not going to kill anybody. Kill some self-defense. Nah, it's just a threat, It's not reality.
We've gone over.
Don't think-
We've gone over the litter box guy, or I guess.
Yeah, he needed a litter box.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't have a litter box in stock that day.
So,
Yeah, we've had a few. I caught my first shoplifter when I was like 12 years old or something. Yeah, I remember that. You remember that one? That was a good one. Yeah.
We've had that story on the podcast too.
Have we? Did I say that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't need to bring it back then. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So I have
Back in the good old GHB sold on the shelves days.
I have one final question to wrap this up. Why should people shop at Supplement Giant?
That's it.
That's the tough one.
That's a tough question. Tell me why. Tell me why people should shop at Supplement Giant over Supplement World, the Arsenal. Why are you guys the best? This is your time to tell us.
I would just say that it boils down to experience. I don't really necessarily have anything negative to say or, whatever about competitors. I think competition to an extent is good, but I mean, mathematically, we've been here the longest. I mean, I've been with Supplement Giant longer than most competitors in Wichita have even been open.
True.
It is what it is. And just from more of the business side of things, I mean, we make sure to keep our pricing, as competitive as we can with the internet and still kind of give folks that, that internet experience with pricing and stuff like that, but kind of help drive them into, like we were talking about earlier, supporting the local economy, coming in and getting good information. I mean, that's one thing I can, and to be honest with you, I've never stepped in a supplement world. I've never stepped in an Arsenal, so I don't know how they operate. But what I do know is, these guys know what they're talking about. They're living this lifestyle every single day. They're taking these supplements. We do our monthly training to make sure that we're staying up to date on everything with very evolving industry all the time, constant. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I mean, I don't think competition's ever a bad thing, but I can tell you,
several of the very bold points that make Supplement Giant. Probably that's what. Yeah. Why are you laughing, bro?
What's Broc doing?
I'm in some Jason over here.
You got
You guys
Jason?
playing footsie?
I would say number one, we carry every single NutriAuthority product.
That's a great reason.
There you go. It's probably the only place in the country other than NutriAuthority.com.
I think you are the only place that carries every single product.
Yeah.
For sure.
Number two, we've got Lean Kitchen. Yes, awesome grab and go healthy meals, ready to go meals.
Yeah. Don't go grab that McDonald's.
Oh man, even the Chipotle you think is healthy. Every meal high in protein, lots of chicken, lots of beef, steak meals, fish meals.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's some sausage in there.
like
I'm a big
everybody,
fan of sausage myself. So
everybody says, they're like, oh, supplements aren't going to do everything for you. You got to have a good diet. Well, do Lean Kitchen. That's your good diet. So you get a supplement meal, supplement product.
And workout equipment.
We got fitness equipment at the East location.
True.
You need a treadmill, you need some weights, some kettlebells.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, man, but everything. Got everything. Got some pretty cool dudes working at Supplement Giant.
Yeah. I'll give you my thoughts.
Okay.
Right. So not compared to other stores. I don't really care about them. They do their own thing. It really comes down to who you're doing business with. Do you know who you're doing business with? Do you know their values? How do they express those values? And do they have a track record? And I think Supplement Giant's got a very clear track record that we've always put our values and our principles over dollars and over how we do, how we do business and how we expand our businesses and things like that. And we don't make any of those kind of concessions for lower quality products, bait and switch, lying to people, things like that. It's all making sure that we're recommending something. If we're going to recommend it to you, I'm going to recommend it to my family. I'm going to recommend it to my friends. I'm not going to sell you something just because that's my highest profit margin and my expiring product that needs to get out of there, whatever it is. I think that's the most important thing to me. If you can trust the person you're doing business with, the rest of it's just, gravy. So that's the biggest thing. And I think we've obviously had that as a big focus. We're not in business to screw people over and, get rich. We like what we do, and we've been here since 1990. And I did bodybuilding really heavy, got into a little bit of the training with me on that time, beef and cheese meals.
Beef and cheese. What kind of reload days? That raises a good question. What kind of cheese? Favorite kind of cheese? Ooh, I could have with your beef.
Pepper jack.
Yeah, it's pepper jack.
Probably Colby to go with my beef. Jack. Something like that.
Yeah. Cheers.
Pepper jack.
Yeah, I was actually just having this conversation. Jack's the way.
I do like some provolone, but I don't know about if
I had some
necessarily the best on.
I had some habanero. Pepper jack.
Ooh,
Kind
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think so. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Wrapping it up. I think all the rest of it's been covered pretty well.
always wrap it up.
Always wrap it up.
It's very true.
Well, thank you for joining us on episode 26 of the Nut.
26. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
Thank
gonna have to have you guys back.
Yeah.
Who's on 27?
I don't know.
You?
You
Jen.
wanna be on? Is Jen? Yeah, Jen may be on. If we
Caban?
Yeah,
Jen.
Jen Cabana.
Yeah, she has already confirmed.
she has confirmed. Okay. Yeah. Next episode, Jen Caban. We'll see if we're on. Yeah. All right. Any last words?
No.
How do they find you on social media? If they want to follow you on social media, how do they do it?
At Subgiant Wichita.
Oh, that's Instagram. That's you.
I'm Supplement Giant Jason.
Ah, there we go.
Supplement Giant Jason on Instagram. Right now, I am Tyler Joseph Venable.
It does
Those
change.
faces.
Changes periodically for Tyler.
I was talking to Ryan the other day. That's their brother.
Yep.
He loves to remind me about peanut butter lover days when I was peanut butter lover.
Yeah,
I just loved peanut butter so much.
I remember that.
Peanut butter's all right. I do still like peanut butter.
What was that army?
What about your dog?
Kept
Does your
tagging
dog like
the
peanut
army.
butter?
It was an aesthetics army. Hashtag aesthetics army.
That was a girl that I was dating.
Yeah.
I think maybe I tagged a couple times. I fell into that trap.
Of course.
For like a good bonus podcast, we could go through like Tyler's old Instagram
Yeah.
from his bodybuilding days.
Yeah. Tyler's been up on stage multiple times, right?
The bodybuilding stage.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
Just to confirm, to clarify.
The phase.
Yep. It was a good time. It was fun stuff.
I had a lot of good times, a lot of fun.
I never did bodybuilding, but I ate a lot of ground beef.
That's true. So you got the jujitsu.
And
going
cheese
on
and
now.
Colby Jack.
I've done one jujitsu competition.
How'd it go?
I had 2 matches and I won one, lost one.
There you go. Hey.
Yeah. Apparently not.
It's a
There were
coin
not-
flip.
There were not a lot of old guy white belts.
That's fair.
Yeah. What's so you consider yourself an old guy now?
Well, they just had me in the. I mean, I was supposed to be in the 40 to 50-year-olds, but there were no other 40 to 50-year-olds. So I was in the 30 to 50-year-olds.
Gotcha.
And so it was me versus guys
When's
10 years younger than me.
when's the next one coming up?
I don't know.
Okay. We need to set a time.
I need to lose some weight before then.
That's an easy one. Yeah. That's not hard.
Competed
Yeah.
at 205 last time. I think I'd do better at 190.
I think
190 will be some good work. Yeah. Okay.
awesome. Well,
Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys.
thank you guys for cranking it out as a Nut Club.
That's right.
See you guys next time.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.